Are we rolling? Are we rocking and we're rolling and we're rocking? Oh yes, we're rolling. Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors fired live stream. From the MCU, let's talk about it. Jonathan Majors getting fired. YouTube live stream. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News. Your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, guys, this is a crazy time we're living in. Wow, Jonathan Majors getting relieved of duties from the MCU because of the big court case that happened yesterday. This is a bit of a bit more of a relaxed show today. We're not going to have the sidebar or anything like that. And it's going to be at a weird time. We're much earlier than we usually are because I got to be out somewhere by 12 p.m. Just got to roll with the punches. It's Christmas time. Everybody's got things that they got to be out doing. And tomorrow afternoon is when we'll have our show, not in the morning because I got to do stuff in the morning. Hey, it's just one of those things. And then next week gets it even crazier, but we'll still be putting out content daily here on the channel Mirror Domains. Let's take a look. Jonathan Majors, headline for the last 24 hours. This broke yesterday, right after we finished our show, actually. And it was the talk of the town. Everybody was live streaming. Everybody was showing telling everybody their ideas. So he's been found guilty, and he has been dropped by the MCU. So we've got a couple things here to address. One, we can talk about his charges and the assault charges and stuff like that. I can weigh in on that, but that's not really what I really want to do here. I mean, guys, with the court cases kind of stuff, when it gets into that kind of stuff, we don't have all the information. We're not sitting in the court there, and the news that we get from these websites is just very surface level stuff, right? Yeah, obviously he's been found guilty of assault and harassment. So the fallout of that is going to be that it's not good for PR. And he's going to have to go through a recovery stage where it's kind of like he's going to have a sentencing on February 6th, where it could be up to a year in prison, from what I understand. I don't think it will be. Maybe a month. I don't know. And that's not my decision. And that's not what I'm going to weigh in on. We'll see where that falls. But will he be able to come back from that? Like, that's the number one concern. If you're a Jonathan Majors fan, let's address you guys first. Can somebody recover from this? Yes, they can. What we have learned is that he was just in a number of toxic relationships. And when you're in a toxic relationship, you just don't handle things the best way. You think that you are at the time, perhaps, but in hindsight, it's not good, right? There was an incident where he was trying to stop her from going to the hospital to get medical attention because it would look bad for him. Well, it looks even worse that you tried to stop her now, right? So it's kind of like, can an actor recover from something like this? Most definitely, yes. Most definitely, yes, they can. Will Jonathan Majors recover from this? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Because depending on what his sentencing is going to be like, while he is a talented actor, we as human beings and individuals, we're talented in multiple things. And a lot of us have to use these muscles and our backs to earn our livings by doing labor, doing a lot of things that we don't want to do. Right here, take a big whiff. Later on today, I'm going to be doing something that I don't want to do, but I'm going to be doing it because I'm an adult. I got to be able to pay the bills. So, will he have other things that he can rely on besides his acting chops in his future to make a living? Yes. So he'll come out of this serving his time. Will he ever get back into acting? I think he can. It'll take some time. Because this is, if somebody tries to put this on par of, like, say, like a Will Smith incident, remember, Will Smith didn't get charged. But in the court of public opinion, Will Smith is starting to come out of it now, right? People are like, okay, you've served your time out of the public eye, and now it's starting to, you can come back. Unfortunately, with what Jonathan Majors has done. He's going to be actually serving jail time, maybe, right? So it's kind of like he's going to have to be out of the public eye for so long. And the thing about acting in Hollywood and stuff is that once you get a recognition, you've got to keep that ball rolling. Otherwise, people will forget about you, and then you just get lost back into the pantheon of everybody else clamoring to try to get back to the top. He'll have a little bit of a foot in the front door if he ever wants to get back into it, but it's kind of like it really depends on how far and how deep this rabbit hole goes, because there's more charges, isn't there? Right? So, movie-wise, where does this leave the MCU? Well, the MCU has dropped Jonathan Majors, which is kind of, well, I think we saw the writings on the wall for that for Loki season 2, right? He was not heavily introduced in the marketing. And he was going to be poised to star in Kang Dynasty. He was going to be like one of the big threats for the Avengers. But here's the thing that I would say about this, about the MCU. Let's deal with that now. Is that, you know what? He was defeated by Ant-Man in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. In Loki season 2, he was defeated by the TVA, right? So it's kind of like he's already been defeated twice. Is he really that much of a threat? And because they're using multiverse stuff, they could find another variant of him that doesn't look like him and just explain it like that. That's all they would have to do, right? Quick, easy fix, and they could still move forward with the Kang Dynasty movie, but I don't think that they will. Because remember that story last week when they were talking about bringing in a new writer for Kang Dynasty? I think they knew then. I think they had already put in plans to say, okay, if he's going to be charged, found guilty from this, then we're going to change directions. We're going to change Kang Dynasty. And I know a lot of people are thinking Doom, Doctor Doom. Is that a way to go? Well, guys, I'll tell you this. We don't even know who the Avengers are still. Where's Shang-Chi? Is Doctor Strange going to be part of the Avengers? What's happening? Nobody knows what's going on with the MCU, except for Kevin Feige and his master plan that he continually says to us, don't worry, we'll understand it once we're done phase 4. Or don't worry, you'll understand it once we're deep into phase 5. Well, we're deep into phase 5, and we still don't know what the heck's going on. So, will Captain Marvel be, Miss Marvel be part of the Avengers? I don't think you can go the Young Avengers route anymore. Because people just aren't watching it, man. People aren't watching it. It's just all over the place. Nobody knows what's going on. People want to pull their hair out. And augmenting that is going to be things like this with Jonathan Majors, Kang Dynasty. So we look at his IMDb. He's got 2 upcoming things in pre-production. No, he doesn't. Those things will be removed from his ledger. This other one, Magazine Dreams, that was slated to come out, but just didn't get a release date about some kind of boxer. I think it did come out in limited release during the festivals or something. But yeah, Magazine Dreams, that's not getting a wider release. That's going to be, sorry for Elijah Bynum, but yeah, when the star of your movie is going to, well, probably jail, it's not a good thing. You can't promote the movie. You can't really do anything. It's going to get probably written off for tax reasons, or it's just going to get put out on a streaming service. Tubi, maybe. And then that'll be it. Like, I don't think anybody will pay money for it. And let's just talk about a little bit about the tragedy of the fall from grace, because people are fans of his work in Creed 3, and for the people that did like him as Kang, you're not going to get him around anymore. I found last year when I watched one of his movies, I think it was called Devotion. Yeah, that's where I really recognized him and I said, yeah, with Glenn Powell. I was like, there's a scene in there where he's looking at a mirror talking about he's going to, trying to pump himself up, and he's fighting through emotions. And I was like, he's got it. He's got that gear that can, that he's got dramatic chops, but he can also do like the action stuff as well. And that's where I found that he's going to he's going to be a good actor. Well, and then he went on to do Creed 3, and that's where he was put on the map for a lot of people because of Creed's franchise brand recognition. And while I liked the start of his character in Creed 3, I felt like Creed 3 kind of faltered towards the end, right? I thought he would be more of a menacing, um, retaliatory kind of bad guy, kind of like, you did me wrong, so now I'm going to hurt you and I'm going to really hurt you back. They started down that route, but he didn't become vicious enough. But enough about his work, guys. Obviously, he won't be back for Creed 4, which they're going to be trying to still get off the ground. That's not going to happen. So, Jonathan Majors, it's going to be tough. Unlikely to ever see the light following the days of the Majors verdict. Yeah. So everybody's online weighing in with their thoughts. Where did the MCU go? And you're going to see tons of video essays about that in the next couple of days. And everybody streamed about it yesterday. So it's kind of like, you just wish goodwill towards people. We all have our paths that we're on. We all have things that we're not proud of in our histories. And those things, I believe, are like that higher power trying to ask you, here's a lesson for you to learn. Are you going to learn it? And are you going to learn it the easy way or the hard way? And if you can learn it, that becomes part of your character, right? It becomes a person of who you are. If you don't learn it, then you're just going to be bound to repeat that lesson over and over again. And Jonathan Majors, I'm hoping, is going to learn this lesson this time, because this is kind of like the rock bottom for this kind of thing. Well, it's not the rock bottom, but it's kind of like it's a low for him in his life, and while he's got some learning to do about this, I'm hoping he'll be able to realize that this is not the person that I want to be. This is not what I want to be doing. I don't want to ever be in a situation like this. I'm going to do what it takes so that this doesn't happen again. I'm going to go to anger management if that's what I need to do. You know, I'm going to learn tactics to dispel my frustrations. I'm going to go to group counseling on once a week and just talk with a group of people about my personal problems, and I'm going to release it that way. Hey, that's what I do. And guys, it's not a bad thing to talk about your problems. You know, you can't keep it up in you, inside of you, and because it'll build up there and fester. And things like this, when you're dealing with tense situations, they'll get out of hand. It'll escalate quickly out of hand, and you'll do things that you don't want to do. And then, of course, things will come back, and you'll have to pay the penalty for your actions. All right. I think that's all I pretty much want to say about Jonathan Majors. Bifer says, guilty or not, the Conqueror as the next baddie was not working anyway. Yeah, and we talked about that too, because he's pretty much already all defeated twice by like Ant-Man and stuff. So I'm expecting that the MCU will make an announcement to this. Maybe not this year, early next year. Like I'm expecting in January, or maybe even after February, after things get shaken up as to where they're going to course correct. You hear there's multiple reshoots on Captain America 4 that's going to happen. Maybe they can use that to try to inject a new threat or the variant of Kang that'll be leading up to the Avengers 5, I guess, right? We'll have to see. They've got some time now, and I think they did, because yesterday the bomb just went off, right? And now we're going to see where the fallout is going to be, right? How public perception is going to be about the MCU. We know that the public perception of the MCU is down in the dumps anyway, box office wise, TV wise. They like to say that Loki season 2 was a big success, but nobody's talking about it. And the numbers were kind of like, well, they started high, but it kind of faltered towards the end there. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, let's continue on. Another big story yesterday was, we talked about this. Reacher star Alan Ritchson wants to be Batman in the DCU. Alan Ritchson has responded to rumors that he's being eyed for the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Well, guys, we know that he's definitely got the physique for it. He's got the muscles. You wouldn't have to pad out his suit, for sure. I know that some people were a little bit irked with this. I don't want to have to type this into Google. Why do I have to type that into Google? Oh, mercy. But I just want to show you that, yes, he's ripped. He's a big dude, right? Um, I said that I would like to see him as He-Man a while back when we were talking about the He-Man stuff. But him as Batman, yeah, you wouldn't have to pad out the suit that much. My God, he's... And that's a lot of work to put that on and keep that on, that mask. But here's the thing. Batman. What was it? Jeff Snyder yesterday, because I was watching all of these shows about Kang. He said something about the fact that they're maybe trying to, once Matt Reeves is done his Batman, that they'll try to tie in Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU. I don't see that happening because Robert Pattinson's Batman, the script hasn't even been formalized yet or submitted for Batman 2, which means if they're going to make a trilogy of Robert Pattinson's Batman, it's not going to be until like 2026. No, even beyond that, because that's Batman 2 is supposed to be out 2025. It wouldn't be like till Batman Brave and the Bold would have to come out like 2028 then, if you're going to have Pattinson in there. And I don't see that happening. Because Superman comes out, Superman Legacy is 2025 with Batman 2 with Pattinson. So, guys, I know I hear the arguments that, oh, but if there's so many Batman, people will get confused. No, they won't. Most people pretty much understand that the Robert Pattinson Batman is in an alternate universe. We understand that the Batfleck was Snyderverse, right? And I guess a little bit of Keaton was Snyderverse. Sort of. Right? We can have another Batman. I think most people will understand that. If he was Batman, I wouldn't object. I just think there could be other uses for him. Make him Mr. Freeze or something. Yeah. Victor Fries. I could see that, baby. With all the rumors flying around that I'm supposed to be playing Batman, how could I knock Batman? I would love to play Batman, yeah. And he's definitely got the stature for it, but he's a big dude. And I'm thinking that he's more suited for things like, yeah, He-Man. He's got the physique for it, as I said, He-Man. You just put a... Why not? He-Man's not below you. See, once you concede that you think that He-Man is below your acting talents, then you've already admitted that whatever project they've submitted for the He-Man Masters of the Universe is not going to be good. You're saying that you're not valuing the character, or they didn't treat the base, the source material with respect, because there is a story there that could be woven that pays respect to the source material, takes it seriously, gives us something dark and gritty. But He-Man's for kids, James. Well, don't make the same mistake that the Turtles did. One of the best Turtles iterations is that 1990s version, the live action version of them in the suits. Most people hail that as still the best Turtles adaptation out there. And it's dark and it's gritty, but kids still liked it. I liked it. I wasn't offended by the darkness of it, studio executives. So if you make a He-Man dark and gritty, then I think it'll still work. All right. So anyway, where could he fit in? We'll have to see. It would be, yeah, I think because if he stood next to David Corenswet, who's also big and bulky now too, like that's fine. Go with that then. I have no problem with that. If that's the case, Alan Ritchson, go for it, man. That's the way I say. All right. Next, Charlie Hunnam is in the news. Charlie Hunnam had very awkward meeting with George Lucas to play Anakin Skywalker, walked out knowing I'm definitely not getting the role. Now, I don't mind Hunnam as backup players. He's not a leading man. He's not a leading star. Now, was Hayden Christensen the leader of that movie? Well, he had a pretty big part. So it's kind of like he definitely would have needed the chops, and I don't think Hunnam had developed as an actor enough. I don't think he is. We're going to see him this month in Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. And we're going to watch that here on the channel, actually this week, right? Comes out on the 22nd? Or is it? Yeah, so Friday. We'll be watching it Friday, guys. Rebel Moon, right here on the channel. Mirror Domains. You heard it right here. We'll be watching first part 1 Friday. So come join us for that. Yeah, they had a whole bunch of people in for Anakin Skywalker. I know that a lot of people say, well, they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio, but that's not. I think what happened was that, yes, I know that Leonardo DiCaprio was invited down to the Skywalker Ranch, and they did talk. But I think it was just kind of like, hey, in the past we could have done this kind of thing. This is what I would have liked to have happened. But I think they both conceded at the time that Leo was too old to play the role. He was. So, who are the other people? Ryan Phillippe was also up for it, I think. And I guess now Charlie Hunnam was also up for it. Yeah, I just don't see that happen. Hey, it happens. You go in and you just get a. He goes on to talk about this. He says that he feels like he just he didn't feel the vibe. I just remember in it being a very awkward meeting and walking out thinking, well, I'm definitely not getting that role, Hunnam added. And I was correct. Sometimes it's all about the vibes. Well, yeah, that too, right? You hear George talking about the person that he wanted to have for Anakin in like those making of documentaries and stuff. So it's kind of like, and when you hear him on the commentaries for Revenge of the Sith, he talks about how Hayden was able to transform and give that dark, like brooding look in his face and also be innocent at the same time. In other cases, like he could do that duality, and he did. So that's what Lucas was looking for, and he got with Hayden Christensen, who's apparently signed up back with an agency. So he's going to be back on the board playing field for acting, which is good because he does have talent. Hayden does. Hunnam, as I said, he's got the talent, and this is going to be all over the pages today. He's just not the leading man. He doesn't have that charisma where you're just like totally on board with him, whatever he does. Kind of like he doesn't have the same clout as, say, like a Chris Hemsworth that could do an Extraction movie, right? And you'll be like on board with it. He's not like that. He's close, but he belongs more in kind of like a Triple Frontier kind of thing where he's just like one of the background characters. But apparently this headline caught me too because it involves Charlie Hunnam. Triple Frontier 2 confirms he's producing a sequel to Netflix's 2019 action thriller. Now, guys, it wasn't an action thriller. Triple Frontier was more of a slow burn, espionage-ish kind of deal. And it was touted as an action thriller. And while there are some action scenes in it, it's not, guys. It wasn't. It's more of a man's film about what do you do when you see your opportunity to make good, to get a step up on things. You see that opportunity slip away from you slowly, right? It's about a bunch of like army guys that come in to do a score to rip off like some cartel guy, right, of money. And as they're trying to make the getaway, things go bad. And I liked it because it had Ben Affleck, the cast, Oscar Isaac. It was a good cast. And it was just awesome to see all of these guys kind of bounce off of each other. That's why I liked it. But I admit, there wasn't many females in it. And it was more about, Pedro Pascal. And when these guys start to throw down and sacrifice to try to get the rest of the team out of there, it was worth watching, I felt. Like this was kind of like Expendables without the cheeky kind of schlocky joking around kind of thing. And just see like it was a stellar cast and Hunnam was part of that. So there's going to be a sequel. I don't know, man. And if you know the movie, obviously not all of them can be in the sequel. Right? Um, and that's what I kind of liked about it too. It was kind of like a little bit of that Magnificent Seven kind of vibe. Triple Frontier 2, who knows? We'll have to see. Just a couple of Charlie Hunnam headlines. Arglass says, or no, Bifer says, Hunnam was great in Papillon and Lost City of Z. Unfortunately, I found that Lost City of Z was just a bit dry for my taste. I think I was a little bit harsh on it when it came out. I think I called it one of the most boring movies of the year. Arglass Vikings also says, at a stretch, maybe Alan Ritchson could replace Aquaman, but yeah, I could see him as a Dark Destroyer. He is a strong, silent type in Reacher. I'll be watching Rebel Moon through my fingers. Yeah, Rebel Moon. I noticed here on the side where yeah, Rebel Moon. And it's up to 23%. 72 by the well. You got to remember the audience hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, this was brought up on Campia's show too, where it's kind of like, even though it's streaming, audience hasn't seen it yet. So why are people putting in audience scores? Um, Now I know that there was a big premiere in Tokyo that Mary Cherry, a reactor here on YouTube, was invited to go see. So there are people that have seen it. I just don't know if that was over 1,000 people. I doubt it. Guys, we'll be watching it this week. So come join us here on the channel Mirror Domains, which means I'm going to have to make up some thumbnails and start promoting it. Release date December 1st, 21st. Oh, so is it on Thursday? Maybe we'll be watching. No, I can't on Thursday. Oh my God, I'm so busy on Thursday. Hey, it is what it is. If I can't, then yeah, we'll watch it on Friday. Sorry, guys. But I'm looking forward to it. Sophia Battelle is the main reason why. Jaimin Hansu always brings it. So I'll have to see how that goes. All right, what's next? We're done with Hunnam. Let's talk about some. Did I have the box office thing? Yeah, this box office thing. It's kind of boring, but it's all over Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. Box office 2024 box office projections to see 5% downturn versus 2023. Well, here's the thing. I don't understand what they're basing this off of. I guess I would have to read the article, and it's more of a business side kind of thing. Because there's not many superhero movies next year. I think it's down to like 2 or 3 superhero movies, and that's about it. If that. You got Deadpool 3, which will be a big hit. And then Madame Web and Craven, which those two I could see would bomb maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Doom Part 2 will be a major release. Godzilla X Kong will be big. Ghostbusters will be big. Mad Max, Quiet Place Day 1, that's anticipated. Smile 2, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice 2. Deadpool 3 will be the big one for a lot of people, right? For me, Mad Max, Furiosa, I want to see. Of course I want to see Godzilla X Kong. So they're just projections. Guys, we're not even done 2023, and I didn't really want to talk about that one, but I pulled it because it's all over the place, right? Jonathan Brandis wanted the Anakin role, but sadly he took his life when the part went to Hayden. Well, I don't think that's why he did it. I think Brandis had a lot more other problems going on. He had substance abuse problems, didn't he? Because they really took him young and tried to develop him into an actor, and he did. He had a not a broad range, but he had a range, and when he hit that wall of what his range was, I think people were trying to force him through. And he was kind of like, no, this is the best that I can do. And you can see a bit of that wall in It, the TV series, where he's kind of like, that's probably about as max as he's going to get. He doesn't have that extra gear. He didn't have that. Now, he could have developed it maybe in time, but, he didn't have that extra gear where it's kind of like he's transforming into something different for this role, isn't he? Yeah. Brandes was found hanged in a hallway, 2003. He was 27 years old. Yeah, and he was also a little bit on the older side. 27? Yeah. He did not leave a note. When his appearance in the Hearts War, a role he'd hoped to revive his career, was significantly reduced in the film's cut. So it was after Hearts War. That's that one with uh, Bruce Willis about the internment camper, right? Where he gets stuck. Is Colin Farrell in that one as well? He suffered from bipolar disorder. Yeah, bummer. Sorry. Where are we at? Next. Naomi Watts joins Audrey Dewan's erotic drama, Emmanuel. We haven't seen Naomi Watts in a while. So, of course, I was kind of like, oh, let's check this out. Two-time Oscar nominee Naomi Watts was joined cast Emmanuel, Dewan's follow-up to Venice Prize-winning Happening. The film is inspired by Emmanuel Arneson's novel and is based on a script co-developed. Okay, the book centers on a woman and the series of erotic fantasies that she entertains. It was previously made into a 1974 film of the same name. Oh, okay. So it's a remake. Emmanuel. That does sound familiar, though. Erotic thriller, huh? Hmm. Next. Most overlooked movies of 2023. Oh, we're as I said, we're coming down to the end of the year, so we're gonna be going through these lists. Uh Most overlooked movies. What do you got? A Fire. A Fire. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. German director Christian Petzold. Perceptive portrait of a young novelist named Leon who heads to a family cottage in the Baltic coast to complete his second manuscript. While his housemates spend their afternoon swimming, flirting, and falling in love, Leon putzes around the house looking for inspiration, but mostly just wasting time. When others ask him to join in, he quickly says, "My work won't allow it." What? Okay, that doesn't sound very interesting to me, but apparently it's overlooked. Cat Person. New York short story that went viral. Cat Person, never heard of it. Fancy Dance. In the year of Lily Gladstone, she received accolades for her work on Killers of the Flower Moon and Unknown Country. She was also in Fancy Dance. Okay. Joyride. Yeah, a lot of people say that this was one of the better comedies of the year. I saw it and I was kind of like, nah, it's not that funny. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I just kind of like, it was crass. I think they was really trying to push the crass kind of stuff. It was harmless, but it was just kind of like, it wasn't meh. Land of Gold. Never heard of that one. Nardeep Kurmi chronicles a road trip between a truck driver and his young Mexican American stowaway, but arrives at a beautiful crossroads between obligation. All right. I've seen 11 out of 12 of the overlooked movies list. Okay. Last Stop Lahrama. Never heard of that one either. Master Gardener's still on my must see list. Because of Joel Edgerton. Oh, sorry. And Sigourney Weaver. Now, I know that reviews coming out of Master Gardener were that it was a slow burn. It was playing at the Art House Theater for a short while. I think I only played there for like a week and a half, though. I was on my schedule to see it. I didn't get out to see it. Next, Missing. Yeah, Missing was pretty good. I was going through my list there the other day. Maybe I can pull up my list. Why not? See if I can pull that up. don't know if I can, James. Okay, so there's my list. I was going through. You guys can. It's hard to see. I was pulling out stuff here. Missing is at the top of the list for the early this year, right? And I liked it. Yeah, I've been slowly compiling movies that I need to see. So we're up to 90 movies this year for me. That's one of the most movies I've seen this year so far for a long while. Well, because the last couple of years were the pandemic and stuff like that. So I'm starting to compile my best and worst horror movies of the year list and stuff like that. I'm starting to pull from it. And as you can see, I still got a lot of must see here at the end. Basically, everything below here is must see. And Master Gardener's right there. So that's what I want to see. And we'll get there. I know that's kind of hard to see, but it is. Missing is good. Missing, yeah, I could agree with that. A little bit overrated. Next, or underappreciated. Monica, never heard of it. Monster, following up Broker and Shoplifters. Monster is this emotional, moving effort yet. All right. Nam June Paik, never saw it. Of an Age, never heard of it. The Origin of Evil. Why does that sound familiar? Origin of Evil. Maybe that was a subtitle to something. Saltburn, huh? Polite Society. Yeah, no, I've heard about Polite Society. I want to see that one. Maybe I need to put that on my must see list. Reality, Robot Dreams, Rye Lane, bunch of ones I haven't seen. Sanctuary, a lot of the ones that I haven't even heard. She Came to Me. That was that Peter Dinklage one, where he falls in love with Marissa Tomei, a tugboat captain, right? He's like a composer of operas. I wanted to see that one. Rye Lane is my favorite, Bifer says. Rye Lane. Let's go back up to that one. Rye Lane, right there. A delightful romantic comedy that flew under the radar when it landed on Hulu in March. Okay, so it's on Hulu. So it would have been on Disney Plus then. I need to sign back up for Disney Plus. Oh, yeah. Percy Jackson starts up this week too, guys. Tomorrow, doesn't it? Oh, my God. I'm just going to be bogged down with a whole bunch of stuff over the Christmas break here. We'll get through it all, guys. I'm sorry that some of it will have to be like, I didn't expect to react to it today, but we're reacting to it today kind of thing. It's not very well previewed by me. I'm not forecasting it. They Cloned Tyrone. Netflix, right? That one came out and I just never watched it, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe that'll be added to the list as well. Because I do like Jamie Foxx and I do like John Boyega. Teyonah Parris I also like. So When Evil Lurks. Oh yes, we did watch that one. When Evil Lurks. That had such a good start. Good premise. When Evil Lurks. But for me, it just faltered towards the end. I think it was a lot because I didn't understand the rules. It was built on like some cultural mythos that just wasn't familiar to me. Is that it? That's it. All right. Interesting stuff. Just worth a look anyway. Next. Nosferatu image shows Willem Dafoe as crazy vampire hunter Von Franz. Yeah, we saw this yesterday in our Twitter roundup, right? It's there. Entertainment Weekly issue. Can't really blow it up much more than that. Brighten it a bit, yeah. So it looks like he's just killed a vampire there, right? And he's having a gleeful moment, cheerful moment, maybe. He's burning it down. Is that some kerosene he's got in there? I don't know. Willem Dafoe is going to bring it. He's going to bring it. Nosferatu. I want to see because of Robert Eggers. He's directing. He did The Witch, Northman, which I really liked. Northman last year was awesome. There you go. Just an image. We saw that yesterday. Thought it's being covered today as well. Lots of people are talking about it. So there it is. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 reportedly shoots spring 2024 for a Halloween release. What? Guys, if they're going to shoot early 2024, that means they have a script already? I didn't know that they would have that done already. But they want it for a 2024 release? Yeah, I don't see that happening. Unless they've got the script already ready to go. So the first movie came out October this year, ranked more than $300 million at the box office on a $25 million budget. So yeah, they're going to make more. I liked it. I didn't mind it. Let me say that. I didn't hate it. Yeah, there you go. That's my my review for Five Nights at Freddy's. I didn't hate it. But it was also, for me, it wasn't all that memorable. The animatronics were a little bit creepy, but it wasn't creepy enough. You know, that just itching when you were watching it, an R-rated version of it was just itching to be there, but it felt like they were pulling some of those punches and stuff like that. And well, because of it made so much, we are going to get a part 2. I'm a little bit dubious about that 2024 release. Shooting it in 2024, yes, but for an October release, I don't know. Well, they would have all the animatronics still there. Maybe they want to capitalize on that, right? Because all the ones that Jim Henson Studios developed for it, I guess you would want to use them before they start to like fall apart and stuff, right? Yeah, see that happening. I could see that happening. Next, the Tolkien Estate and Amazon win Lord of the Rings lawsuit. Whoops. I sent hide articles. What are you doing? They win the lawsuit against Fellowship of the King author. Fellowship of the King, yeah. Apparently some guy wrote some fan fiction, Fellowship of the King, that was supposed to be kind of like a prequel to the Lord of the Rings stuff. And when they made Rings of Power Season 1, the guy sued them because he was kind of like, well, hey, you just used a lot of my stuff from this fan fiction. Well, you weren't licensed to use it in the first place. When you write a fan fiction and you use property and characters that are not yours, then by default, you can't claim ownership, man. And that's basically what this was all about, right? Now, did they plagiarize it? I don't know. I don't care. And here, the haters will be kind of like, well, who cares? Nobody liked Rings of Power anyway. I liked it. I liked Morvith Clark there as Galadriel. I thought she was awesome. Yeah, it was a shaky couple of episodes to start. But I'll also tell you this, guys. Most TV shows and stuff are shaky in the first couple seasons anyway, right? It takes a season or two for them to figure out what the show actually is, and then it gets really good. It sucks that it happens. Very few shows are good straight out of the gate. Game of Thrones, Lost, House of the Dragon. But yeah, sometimes it takes a while. Even for the shows that I really liked, like Star Trek The Next Generation. That was rough. First season, man. Imagine if it came out now, people would be like, this is really cringe. But by the third season, it was like dynamite TV, man. Same with like Night Court and stuff. All right. I gotta close these. Why did that add? Whoops. Why did that ad happen? So that's what happened with that. All right, guys, I got nothing left here in the can. It was an impromptu show today anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the Twitterverse and we're going to probably round things out. It's going to be a bit of a shorter show today too. As I said, I got to eat and then I got to get out somewhere by 12 o'clock. So, and then tomorrow it won't be until afternoon, probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish for our news show tomorrow. But also get on. We'll do things. Don't worry. Now let's go over to the Twitterverse and see what's going on. End of the world. A murder at the end of the world is certified 89%. Limited series. Okay. The Buccaneers has been renewed for a second season. I don't know what that is. First poster for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Let's take a look. Blow that up. Is that like a big worm monster? There's the big bad guy with the horns. But we see like a worm monster. I'm thinking that this one is going to be a pleasant surprise for people. I liked Afterlife. I did, and I like the new cast. And I like the fact that we're getting the older cast back in this one too. We're getting Ernie Hudson, we're getting Bill Murray, we're getting Dan Aykroyd. So that's good enough for me. We're going back to New York for this one. Interesting poster. First trailer for Love Lies Bleeding. Kristen Stewart fans. I don't know what this is about. I do want to watch it though. Let's go to the IMDb. A romance fueled by ego, desire, and the American dream. January 20th. So these two fall in love or something? Katie O'Brien. Jenna Malone's in this. Cool. Ed Harris. Dave Franco. So that trailer is dropped. I might have to check out that trailer. First look at Adam Sandler in Spaceman, premiering 2024. So is he doing a more dramatic piece again? Cool. Adam Sandler goes into space? Cool. What is that thing floating there? Does that look like a spider? That's a spider. Gross. Ew. That's creepy, man. So a mutant spider gets on board? That's a direction I want to see him go in. Love Lies Bleeding. Dave Franco, is he going to be one of the bad guys in there? You know, Dave Franco's got the chops. He can act. Katie O'Brien. Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah, she's got stunt. She started off as a stunt woman or something, didn't she? Can you blow that up a little bit? She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So hey, she's still going. Good for her. I wanted to see more of her character from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But we probably won't. First teaser for Spaceman.
I fled my planet through galaxies, through black holes, through time, and then I found you.
What is this? You. Spaceman. That's it? So it's just him walking on a planet. And he's good. Even though that there may be breathable air there, guys, all of the like microbes and pathogens and stuff, we're not adapted to that. So yeah, there may be air there. Like, learn your lessons from War of the Worlds, guys. Which is why a lot of people got mad at movies like Prometheus and Alien Covenant. What are you doing taking off your mask? It's your own damn fault that some evil black ooze pathogen got into you. So it's just him walking through a creek. Interesting. Hey, yeah, Adam Sandler doing some kind of space movie where there's going to be like mutant spiders. Really creepy, man. Weird. I have to check that out. Chris Melton, it says it's bittersweet that Riverdale is ending. Oh, was he in Riverdale? Emma Stone. Vanity Fair's notes scene by scene. Yeah, Poor Things opens up this weekend as well in wider release. I'll be seeing that. I'll be basically in the movie theater every day this weekend. Thursday I'm seeing Aquaman. And then I'm going to be watching Rebel Moon on Friday. Probably Poor Things on Saturday. Then Sunday is Christmas Eve. So if I see something, I'll have to see the matinee because then Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are all family events, guys. So for those 2 days, we won't be doing anything. Heartstopper. Nicole Kidman, Expats. First trailer for Expats. Hunger Games is now on VOD. Jamie Dornan, shaking his maracas, wants to do more comedy in the future and reveals that he was cast in Barb and the Star Go to Vista Del Mar. What? Huh? People think that he could be up for the role of Batman as well. Talking about Alan Ritchson. Jamie Dornan maybe be up for the Brave and the Bold version of Batman. He'd have to put on a little bit of mash, but he'd have time to do that, I think. Jamie Dornan and Cillian Murphy. Or was that Peaky Blinders or something, right? I don't know. American Fiction. Oh yeah, that's another one I need to go out and see. So yeah, I'll be in the theaters doing a whole bunch of stuff. Barry Keoghan. Yeah, no, he's somebody that can transform. This is from Killing of the Sacred Deer. When he's eating the pasta, it's like Yorgos. It's got such a weird aesthetic. Eternals. Banshees of Inisherin. He was really good in that one too. Saltburn. I liked him in Saltburn. Saltburn is there's a haunting element to Saltburn where it's kind of like you're watching these people kind of self-destruct kind of thing. And it's haunting because it feels like you could also self-destruct just like that too, right? And Barry's a big part of that. He portrays that very well. Wicked Little Letters. All I see here is Jessie Buckley. Who else is in this? Olivia Colman. Well, we just saw Olivia Colman in the Wonka movie, and she was really good in that. But as soon as I see Jessie Buckley there, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm all in. Who else is in this? Anjan Vasan. Malachi Kirby? Is that it? Timothy Spall? Huh. In theaters in the UK, February 23rd. Wicked Little Letters. Take a look, James. Oh, I must have pulled it at some point here. When people in Littlehampton, including a conservative local Edith, begin to receive letters full of hilarious profanities, rowdy Irish immigrant Rose is charged with a crime. Suspecting that someone else is amiss, the town's women investigate. I just like Jessie, her smile. She's got a big smile. I dig it, man. Next. Is that it? No. The Murder at the End of the World is now streaming on Hulu. Charles Melton and Henry Golding. Instagram. Chloe Zhao. Jake Gyllenhaal is 34. Or 43. Sorry, he's 43. Wearing a pink fuzzy sweater. Nice. He could be Batman, maybe. Yeah? I was really hard on Prisoners when it came out. Because everybody came out of it saying it's the best thing ever. So when I went to see it, it was kind of like, well, it's good. The acting is good. Who's this guy, Denis Villeneuve? He thinks he's all hot and big righteous stuff. It's his pompous little ego or whatever. But then it was kind of like, it sat with me for a bit. And then once I saw other works from Denis Villeneuve, it was kind of like, well, no, this guy's got the magic sauce. He's got it. And I went back and revisited Prisoners again. I think it was because of the ending. The ending, the first time through, Well, it's hard. It was a hard subject matter because your kid's getting taken away from you, and seeing the parents panic like that, it's just it's hard to watch. Uh, and it's got a little bit of an ambiguous ending too. Like, does he hear the whistle or not, kind of thing. I think he does. He does. So, but it's kind of like Gyllenhaal was good in it, but so was Jackman, Hugh Jackman. Uh, you know how I feel about Enemy. I think it's one of his better performances. It sucks that that one got taken down. It sucks, man. We did a reaction to it and it got taken down. Jennifer Lawrence, appropriate Broadway, New York City. Paul Mescal. Rank the films directed by Sofia Coppola. We're not doing that. You guys know that I probably picked Marie Antoinette. I know a lot of people are lost in translation. I really like Priscilla. Just on a cursory one, guys, would go Marie Antoinette, Priscilla, Lost in Translation. Virgin Suicides was also really good. I didn't get through all of Beguiled, actually. Bling Ring, Emma Watson, right? Jonathan Majors has been fired, guilty of assault and harassment. Okay, so that's pretty much where we can wrap it up, guys. Yeah, we've gone just under an hour here. Thank you very much for joining me today. As I said, I'm a little bit sorry that I'm lacking in the material and stuff like that, but hey, I got to roll with the punches. Yesterday, I sat down to do some shorts, and things just, James, can we come do this for me, please? And it's kind of like, okay, fine. It is what it is. It's holiday season, guys. We have to roll with the punches. All right. Come join us tomorrow afternoon for some more movie news and stuff. We'll see what else breaks. If a big trailer drops, I'll be back for that. If not, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time here on Mirror Domain.